So, hi everyone, welcome to the second episode of Wellness Wednesday. Today we're going to be talking about fitness journeys, everything from how do you start one, how do you stay on track, what to do if you get off track. So, all of that good stuff. And here with us we have Dr. Ash. She's in her 12th year of teaching at Morehead State. She's an instructor for the health and wellness in both undergrad and graduate courses. She's also actively involved with numerous different committees across campus. She received her doctorate of health education in 2018 and is also certified as a health education specialist. So that being said, we're so lucky to have her here with us today to share her knowledge and health involving physical activity and talk a little bit about her fitness journey. So is there anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think you covered it. Thank you.
So to start off with, we are going to talk about, I know there's a lot of students probably coming back to school who are thinking about working out. They don't know where to start. So first of all, we're going to talk about how do you even start a fitness journey? So a lot of students, if you live on campus or even if you don't live on campus because the town is so small, you have this rec center available to you for free. So you might as well go ahead and use it. And when you come to college, I feel like for me, it was I have all this time on my hands. What do I do? I feel like the perfect time to start a fitness journey. So if these students have never been around fitness before, where and how will they know how to start? I feel like that's a main question that a lot of them may have. And I feel like the internet is a great place to start if you don't have other resources or if you've never been around fitness before. I know on YouTube there's so many different fitness videos, or even Instagram, Facebook. The rec center offers group fitness, virtual on Zoom, so there's all these different options. For myself, I was always involved in sports, so that's kind of where I got involved with physical activity, but I know that's not the case for everyone. So Dr. Ash, can you tell us a little bit about how you got started on your fitness journey?
And so for me, fitness was always a lifelong goal, but until I got into the profession as a student and then an instructor, I didn't know what it really took to be physically fit, physically healthy. I tried lots of things, but it wasn't anything that was lasting or anything that I was willing to stick to. And the most important thing for people to be aware of is that it's not a quick fix. I mean, if it's something you tried for a long time, you have to stick with it. It takes commitment. And so I think the most important thing is to do research and see what options there are. Like you said, we have access to the internet pretty much any time of the day. If we have a smartphone, iPad, laptop, whatever, we can always look things up. And if you don't know where to start looking things up, as a student, I recommend talking to your advisor. I mean, even if you're in an art major, they can still tell you what is available around the university, whether it be on campus or Cave Run Lake. There's a lot of hiking options. There's Eagle Lake on campus. Like you said, just getting out and walking. More accessible community, so you can just get out and walk. So I think doing your research, talking to people, and just if it is the rec center that you want to go to, walk in and ask them for help. They use machines. There are so many floor attendants. They're more than willing to help.
Yeah, I feel like that's a really good point, that you don't have to be an exercise science major, health promotion major. Anyone can ask their advisor, and I'm sure they'd be happy to help. But yeah, so I know you had a fitness journey that you always talk about in all your classes. How did you manage to when you first started, how did you stay on track? How did you stay motivated with all of that?
So for me, a little bit of the classroom into this lecture, of all the models and theories that I talk about in my classes, my favorite one is trans-theoretical. It's a very easy theory to follow, but unless you know it, then you don't know the steps.
I'll go ahead and pull that up for you then.
Okay.
So we can.
So essentially, what this theory is it provides you the steps to progress through the change process. And it really does start with the pre-contemplation. And like I said, although for me, the goal to always want to be healthy and to be physically active and things of that nature was there, I didn't really do any dramatic steps that made it a life process. And so once I started teaching, I also became advisor of Eta Sigma Gamma, which is our health education honorary. And it was actually my second year teaching. One of my colleagues started the journey of Weight Watchers at the beginning of a fall semester. And she's like, it's great, it works, it does its thing for me, you should try it, because she knew that was always a goal, but I didn't actively pursue it. And I wasn't ready. I was afraid I would fail. And that's one thing that stops a lot of people from trying this, is they don't want to fail and they don't want people to see that they failed. And so when I look at the stages, I consider myself in pre-contemplation, because it was there. I knew I wanted to do it, but I wasn't actively thinking about it. And so I saw her progress over the fall semester. We did our stuff as far as the organization goes. I saw a picture of myself, and I realized that I didn't represent what a health honorary was. And January the next year is when I decided for me to make that change. And so at that point, I was in contemplation. And so I started actively thinking about it. I was talking to my friend. I was like, well, what is Weight Watchers? How's it working for you? Give me some information. And so halfway through January, maybe around the 20th, 24th, I decided to try Weight Watchers, and I signed up for it. And over the course of about the next year, I lost 100 pounds because I stuck to it. One good thing with Weight Watchers is it has accountability. People there to check on you, to see how you're doing. If you slipped up, why did you slip up? Things of that nature. And there's a lot of different options out there other than Weight Watchers, but that's what worked for me. And so the preparation was finding out if I had certain foods that I needed to purchase, what it took to sign up for Weight Watchers, if there were meetings, things of that nature. That's the preparation. And then the actual action phase is where you're doing it. I was going to meetings, I was changing the way I was eating, I was incorporating physical activity. Now, my journey was a little bit different because I started on, like I said, the 20th to the 24th. Then on Valentine's Day, I broke my foot. So obviously mine's not the typical journey to weight loss. But at that point, I understood that it took that dedication. So I did what was in my capability. I did very minimal exercises. If I had to give my leg a break, my foot a break, I would prop it while I was still doing some activities. But I stuck to it. And like I said, within that first year with a broken foot, 2 foot surgeries, I still managed to lose 100 pounds because it takes that commitment. And
yeah, that's awesome.
Action phases, yes.
Yeah.
And so once you have gotten to your goal level, usually about 6 months in, that's when you enter maintenance. And that's where you just continue where you're at. The most important thing to keep in mind is you don't just stop. You meet your goal, you stop. What happens? You start to backslide because you may not be as conscious of your eating habits or exercise habits, things of that nature. So you start to backslide. And that's where we see a lot of people relapse. And the problem with relapse is that a lot of individuals see it as failure. And I've had some other health issues that have happened over the years, because this was in 2010 when all of this occurred. And the most important thing is, if you've made progress, it's progress. If you lose 20 pounds and gain 10, you've still lost 10 pounds. Or, you've still gone to the gym 2 days a week, even though your goal was 4 days a week. So even though we may slip up, the most important thing is to get back on track and keep going forward.
Yeah. And then I think another thing that, from a student perspective, just coming to college, like I said before, it's your first time on your own. You have to figure out how you're going to manage your time, how to have a social life, how to get your schoolwork done, and then adding working out into it. I know there's a lot of different distractions. And also I think one thing to remember, when I first came to college, that's when I really started getting into fitness. Is this is one thing that you can do for yourself. I feel with homework, and if you're involved in sports, you have to do it. You're doing it for someone else. You're doing it for a grade. I feel with coming to the gym, that's something that you can be selfish about. It's your own time. You need to do it for
Absolutely.
yourself, and that'll make you feel good. It'll give you more self-confidence, better self-esteem, all of that stuff. And I think another thing that's really important is making a schedule. If you write it down, you're going to be so much more likely to go, rather than if you're just oh, maybe I'll go in the morning, and then you sleep through your alarm. Just stuff that.
If you're not a morning person, don't plan to be at the gym at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
It will not work. It will not work.
Yeah. I know you talked a little bit about like relapsing and stuff. I feel like that's super important to remember. Like even this morning, I woke up and I realized I had a homework assignment to do that was due at 8 a.m. So I didn't have time to go to the gym. Like, I feel like everything slips up sometime. Like, you can't let it get to you. You can't let it get you down. Like, you just got to go with it. And remember, you're doing it like for yourself. You're not doing it for anyone else. You're doing it like for yourself. But back to like relapsing, I know you talked a little bit about that, how you got off track a little bit and then you got back on.
Yeah.
More about that.
So yeah, over the years, like I said, I was always a healthy individual. Like as far as going to the doctor, having blood work, everything done, I was always healthy. I never had any health issues. But once I started the weight loss process, it seemed like things started to arise. You know, I started finding out I had anemia, things of that nature. And so relapse became something that occurred because I got put on medications. Because of the medications, it caused weight gain, and it really messes with your self-esteem. And the problem that a lot of people get focused on, especially if their goal is weight loss, is that number on the scale. Like, achieve their goal, then the worry is, what do I do now? You know, it's going to stay at exactly 155 forever. You know, what's going to... And so, like I said, the important thing is if you are able to lose, if your goal is 10 pounds and you lose 10 pounds, that's an achievement. Gain 2 pounds, you gain 5 pounds, you were still able to lose it at one point. And that I tell my students, and I just told my 150 or 160 class this, is that even though I had a dramatic health setback, you know, I was put on 2 different medications at the same time that caused weight gain. I tore the labral hip, which destroyed all the strength and muscles, and I had surgery on it and all of that stuff. And so I was really out of physical activity for a long period of time. And even if you eat healthy, it really takes both to maintain weight loss. And so my thing is even though I didn't get back to my starting point, I had to tell myself, you did it once, you know the steps, you know the process, you can do it again. So even if you relapse, if you've done it, you know what to do. And so it's back in that mindset.
Yeah, exactly. And it's gonna take time. Like, I feel like it's so easy to like gain weight, but then it's even harder to like lose it. So I feel like,
well, and your body gets used to operating at a certain point, at a certain weight, and so it naturally wants to go back to that. And so that's why that maintenance is so important.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so do you have anything else to add? That's kind of, I know this is a short little interview. We just want our students to know that, like, if you don't know how to start a fitness journey, come in here and someone will help you. If you don't know how to use the machines, that's why we have the fitness attendants here. And you always have, like, you can use the internet, you can use YouTube, all of that. Like, it's literally available at your fingertips.
I think one of the most important things, and like I said, this is one of the things that scared me at the very beginning, is don't be afraid to fail. That's how you learn. You learn what doesn't work. And don't be afraid to tell people. Get work, because even if they're not doing it with you, maybe they've been through it, or maybe they'll be the person there to check on you. When I went through my weight loss the first time, and I did Weight Watchers, the weigh-in was every Monday. I went, even after I broke my foot, I went in my walking cast. They weighed my cast, you know, every Monday. My grandmother was the first person on the phone after I check on me. And so you've got to have a person, and like I flip up, they'll talk to you, you know, it's, and like I said, whether it's weight loss or physical activity, if your family knows about it, if your friends know about it, they can be supportive. I want to say that everyone will be, because sometimes they're not. But they can't be supportive if they don't know.
I think having a support system is definitely extremely important with something like this. But yeah, so I hope this helped anyone who's watching it who wants to start a fitness journey. And like I said, if you have questions, you can reach out to anyone at the rec center. You can reach out to your advisor, like you said. But yeah, I think that's all we have today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good day.